maybe companies weren't spending as much as they were because of budgets, but didn't really
Mhm.
notice a huge drop in sales. You don't have to go to college or you don't have to, you know, be, rich to start a business or anything. You can kind of start with a dollar and a dream. Like people are usually more open than we think. So
Mhm.
usually I'll just find someone I think they have some cool content and I'll DM them and tell them I think they have cool content. And I'll say space where I was just trying everything. I feel like if you don't know what you like, you just have to try everything. Like if you never know if you don't try it. So like anything I would see, if it was like motion graphics or video editing, like I was trying it out.
I am Asif, and you're listening to the 3T Show, a podcast that inspires people to make an impact and pursue their passion. I'm sitting down with people who have chosen to pursue their passion to talk about their process and the learnings which they have learned during their process and how to make it an impact. So, hi Chris, welcome to the 3T podcast, and it's lovely to host you. So, how have you been
Thanks
doing?
for having me. Good, good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on here.
So, so how was the pandemic for you?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
How was the pandemic for you?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. It was crazy personally. Business wise, it wasn't really much of an
Mhm.
effect. I feel like maybe
Mhm.
companies weren't spending as much as they were because of budgets, but didn't really
Mhm.
notice a huge drop in sales.
Mhm.
But I think in terms of like just quality of life, it was definitely a big difference. Like everything was kind of closed up. Couldn't really go to our
Mhm.
office as much as we wanted to.
Mhm.
But besides that, it didn't really affect our business too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. So just Chris, on the, like a personal notice, like how it all got started. Like how did you begin? How is your journey till now? And could you tell like the journey, because it will inspire a number of people to find their journey, your Revcarto journey, like everything in between, like how you got started.
Yeah, I kind of just started doing content marketing on Instagram and like different social media platforms and kind of started to
Mhm.
take off. So, people were just hitting me up, asking me different questions, and I was just trying to help as many people as possible. And, just
Mhm.
throughout doing that, I ended up just opening a lot of opportunities. And then my partner kind of found me through all that and reached out to me to start our agency. So, I was
Mhm.
always down for it. So I told him, let's get it. And we did it. And, here we are now. But I think I feel like I try to inspire as many people along this path as I can. I just hope that people can kind of see, you don't have to go to college or you don't have to, be, rich to start a business or anything. You can kind of start with a dollar and a dream.
Okay. Okay. So, like you said, no, like content marketing gave you a lot of opportunity. What was that one opportunity which like just exploded for you?
Like one piece of content or
Yeah, yeah, one piece of content which like which gave you a number of opportunities.
yeah, I started doing carousels, just like educational carousels on Instagram, and those were
Mhm.
actually really big at the time, like
Mhm.
maybe a year or two ago. So,
Mhm.
started doing those, and they started really taking off and doing pretty well. And that's how I kind of transitioned over to TikTok, and that's where I was doing those little quick video shorts on
Mhm.
software and stuff like that, and they started to take off. So, yeah, mostly TikTok videos and Instagram carousels.
Okay. I just
Yep.
I also found you through like Instagram reels, and like one of your reels was informative enough to like go and just DM you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how we got connected actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, but most people I know from Instagram, so
Yeah,
very
yeah,
thankful.
yeah. And how is it like to run an agency like in this pandemic? How it is like to run like running an agency in this
It's
pandemic?
cool. Yeah, it's very remote. I feel like nowadays you just have to understand that, people want to work remotely. They don't want to always have
Mhm.
to go to an office. So we try to
Mhm.
keep as many people working from home as possible versus having like everyone have to come into the office. And it also opens up our talent pool.
Mhm.
I don't have to just hire in Philadelphia. I can hire someone over in India. I can hire someone in California. Doesn't really
Mhm.
matter. You can work from all over the world. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I think otherwise, like, yeah, just being able to manage a remote team, use tools like Slack,
Mhm.
Zoom, things like that, give us the opportunity to kind of link up without really being in person or having to spend money, which is pretty cool.
And what is like the one thing which is different from if you were running the agency like all in person?
Yeah, I think that if it was just like the thing that separates from most agencies is just the fact that the kind of pandemic has kind of just like threw things off a little bit. But
Mhm.
I feel like it didn't really do too much. If you're a digital business, I feel like you'll get through it fine. Um, a lot of businesses that are physical were in a lot of trouble though. So I think that's where a lot of the marketing kind of came in handy for those companies.
Okay, okay. Like usually people talk about like having a set of habits which can like change your life. Like there's a very famous quote like if you just get focused for 6 months, then like it will push you more forward than if you are just like not focused in that 6 months. So like what are the habits which have helped you to reach here? Like any three recommendations you would like to give, or like what's your daily activities which you religiously follow which have helped you to grow in life in general?
Yeah, yeah. Some good habits I think are good to form are like email is a huge habit. Like just managing emails, I think it was a big habit I had to learn that like I was really bad at before business. And I don't know how I would have survived if I never really organized my email. So, I started using a software called Superhuman. It's pretty pricey, but it's definitely worth it. It just kind of helps me keep all my emails organized. And, I take an action every time an email comes in my inbox. I'll just let it sit there. So I think that was like a good habit I formed. And then just having routine, wellness, health and wellness is important. So just getting enough sleep every night is like something simple, which is a good habit to start.
Mhm.
Getting sleep, eating a good breakfast because, you gotta start the day off right. And just, doing whatever is right for you. I drink coffee the other day, but not everyone drinks coffee. If it's tea or whatever gets you going in the morning, and then,
Mhm.
yeah, just getting at it.
Okay. So you also have like your podcast, right? So like how did you get into podcasting, and like what are the three podcast recommendations you will give like to just people looking at this video or listening to this?
Yeah, so I had my podcast probably 6 months. No, actually, probably almost a year ago now. I think we started last like September, October.
Mhm.
So we did it for a few months. Then we got kind of busy with he had his own agency, so we kind of got busy with our agencies.
Mhm.
And we kind of had to take it down. But me
Mhm.
and my agency partner are about to start a podcast for our agency, probably in
Mhm.
like a month. So we're just working on episodes now. But yeah, no, podcasting is great. I think it's a way better way to get exposure because if you think about it, like there's over a billion blogs out there. I
Mhm.
don't think there's anywhere near a billion podcasts. So there's maybe a few hundred million, but there's nowhere near like a billion, multi-billions. So you have a lot more room to get your name out there and you can actually get your voice heard. Like it's cool to read what someone wrote, but it's a lot more impactful to hear what they say. So I think it's the second best kind of content next to video, I would consider. And even podcasts are now videos anyway, like on YouTube, you can find podcasts. Joe Rogan kind of kicked all that
Mhm.
off. But yeah, I think if you want to start a podcast, I'd say it's really not hard. Find some hosting. We use Buzzsprout, I think. Yeah, we use
Yeah.
Buzzsprout. Like it's not hard. And yeah, you just start, you just write down some episodes and just knock them out. Don't think, don't overthink. And just get some episodes on the air.
Yeah. That will like get you going. Yeah.
Yep.
And if like if you had to invite someone to your podcast, like how would you do that? Like do
If
you
I had
follow
someone do
some
my podcast,
strategy like yeah, yeah, like if you have want to have someone on your podcast?
yeah, I'd say strategy wise, just kind of look at what other people are talking about on their podcasts. If it's working well, make something similar. I don't think podcasts are that complicated. I think, you write down episodes, you make sure it's something that people care about, and you record the episodes and put them out. And then the strategy really goes into the marketing of the podcast. So I would just make sure I'm promoting it on every platform I can and trying to get some type of video content out of it. But yeah, besides that, it's really not, rocket science or anything. Yeah, you record an episode, put it out there and promote it.
Okay. And since you talk like more about inbound marketing, so how if one is a starting, like consider myself, like if I'm starting the podcast, then how can I like inculcate inbound marketing through my podcast?
Yeah, so it kind of comes into what I was saying about like promotion.
Mhm,
You have to make sure you're putting this episode out everywhere. And
mhm,
because how do you get traffic to your website if people don't know it exists? So I
mhm,
think that's the first thing. Second thing is make sure you have it on your website. You can't drive
mhm,
traffic if you don't have the podcast on your website. So I'd make sure you have some type of website for the podcast, or if you're an agency, you put it on your website, and
mhm.
just try to drive traffic to as many episodes as possible.
Okay, nice. And I discovered you through your content, and I just DM'd you, and that's how we got started. So
Mm-hmm.
what's your way of networking? Like how you come across people you admire and you just go and network with them. Like what's your strategy or like
Yeah,
anything like your steps you follow in order to network with them?
not really. I just DM just how you did. I feel like people are usually more open than we think. So
Mhm.
usually I'll just stop find someone I think they have some cool content, and I'll DM them and tell them I think they have cool content, and I'll say, hey, do you want to do something together? And they'll say, yeah, and then we'll do it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And how has content helped you to grow as a person and also your agency?
I'd say it's making me definitely notice things I never think about before, like just like the little things, like um just organization and being on time, stuff like that, just little life skills that, people don't really think of too much. And when you have a day job, I feel like, you care for that stuff, but you don't really care too much. I feel like I care a lot now.
Okay. And how it has helped your agency in like the content?
I think it helps because I understand how much content to put out and at what frequency. I feel like you don't have to kill yourself putting out content, but as long as you're consistent, that always wins.
Okay. And if someone like wants to start an agency, what are the things you will tell them to avoid or the mistakes you did in your journey?
I tell them try not to grow too fast. I think that me and my partner, we've been growing really fast, but we're doing it at a good rate where it's fast for, to the average person, but it's not fast to us. I think a lot of people try and grow way too fast and they just end up missing a lot of stuff on the way. And then they have to try to pick up the pieces later on. I think, yeah, take your time with growth, stop comparing yourselves to bigger companies, and just do what you need to do.
And what are the most like influential incidents that somehow pivoted your career trajectory, like way before like you even got started with content, somehow like where you are now, like how it all pivoted, because like the initial journey, before starting everything, content and everything, like what were you before that, and how
Yeah, so I
was?
was working like retail and stuff. I went to school for graphic design and didn't really do too much graphic design. So I went to school for I mean didn't go to school. I went to work in retail and was doing that. So I was at Disney World for a little bit. And then I came back, was still working retail, and then I got a job at Comcast corporate. So that was cool. I was doing a little graphic design, but it still wasn't what I wanted to really do. So I think once I started making content that was like connected to exactly what I was like doing and was good at, and I liked it.
Okay. And what are the future plans with Revcarto?
Yeah, man, just gonna try and grow, get to that
Mhm.
$1 million a year mark,
Mhm.
and see what's up with selling our agency, man. That's the goal. But we're taking it one step at a time. I think next steps in the meantime is gonna be dropping our podcast and just trying to grow our following as big as possible.
Okay. And what are the book recommendations you will give, which basically ones want to grow in marketing or like as in person?
Yeah, I'd say The E Myth by Michael E. Gerber is a pretty good book. You know, talks about systems and processes, how to scale your business once you're at that point, but not doing it too fast. Like one thing that they talk about in that book. So I think that's a good book for entrepreneurs who really want to get, a better sense of how to grow your business the right way, and not do it too fast and have everything set up. So when you scale, you're ready for it.
Okay. And how is it like day? But because when everyone starts now, they have like this set of days which they are not like up to the mark which they want to go. Like they don't have a clear definition of what they want to go, or like how they want to like move forward in life, basically. So like what was your mental state, or like your plan to action when you were in that similar kind of situation?
Yeah, I kind of was in a space where I was just trying everything. I feel like if you don't know what you like, you just have to try everything. Like if you never know if you don't try it. So like anything I would see, if it was like motion graphics or video editing, like I was trying it out, see if I liked it. SEO, see if I like it. SEO kind of clicked, content clicked, video didn't really click. Motion graphics did not click at all. So you just have to test things out. You'll like some stuff, you won't like some stuff, and you'll find something you love eventually.
Okay, thanks for like doing this podcast, man. Really
For sure, man.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. So like
for sure.
any like few suggestions for people who are listening to this, like any two pieces of advices you want to give?
Yeah, I'd say if you're going to try and start a business, I would say just make sure you know what you want to do. Like, what's your why? Like, why are you doing it? Is it like, what's your motivation? What's your driver? And just make sure it's true to you, and, you're not just trying to impress people or show off. And I say too, as I say, stay focused. I always just pay attention. Whenever I see someone start a business, I always pay attention to how long they're out for, because most businesses don't even last for a year. So a lot of times I'll see people start businesses and then like in a few months I'll see their pages disappearing or whatnot. So I'd say like once I see someone running a business for a year every day solid, that's usually when I'm like, okay, it's a legit business. So I say stay focused and just keep pushing. It will get hard.
Thank you for tuning into this podcast. If I hope you found some value in the podcast. If you're listening it on Spotify, do subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, do like the video and subscribe the channel to never miss an insightful conversation like this. Until then, take care and see you in the next podcast.